you know. I know it's like a singles world, you know. We and I love singles. It's like fast food, but albums. I grew up listening to albums. Meditate, man. That's the heart of the album. The musicians I discovered for myself that like really made me feel like I could do music where, you know, guys like D'Angelo, you know, Jay-Z, Kendrick.
Right now we're looking at the future of Afrofusion. Yo people, it's your boy Lockdown T, and this is Gallery Talks with yours truly. And I'm here with a boy, none other than Sute Iwar.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
You know, feeling good today. My album drops today.
Yes.
So I'm just like living in that right now.
Amazing. What's the album called? Let the people know.
The album's called ULTRALIGHT.
Mm.
You know, I think the title speaks for itself. It's like what I'm trying to project with the album is just, you know, the light in its highest form.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. So how does it feel like? How does it feel to finally have the album drop, bro?
It feels like I have a baby out in the world that I've been holding for a while. Because I started working on the album like 2021, like August, September 21 here in London. And yeah, that's a long time, you know, just to hold on to it and work on it. So it's feel great having it out in the world now, you know, doing this thing.
That's amazing to explain it as like a baby has been born into the world.
Yeah.
Does it really feel like that, yeah?
Well, not exactly, but yeah.
We might not know how that feels exactly, but
exactly. But yeah, it is something, you know, it's been work across that time, like since 2021. So you know, that's just a lot of work that myself and a lot of people have put into it. So it's great to see it out there.
No, 100%, man. What's your creative process like when it comes to building an album? How does that start?
Yeah. With this one, you know, process is always different. You know, the only thing like I hold on to is like when I make something I like, I know, you know, so I hold on to that. But the process getting there is different. With this album, the first song I recorded in 2021 was Signs on the album. And after I recorded that one, I was like, yo, this is a sick song. This is a great foundation to build an album on. And for me, I still take albums really seriously. You know, I know it's like a singles world, you know, we and I love singles. It's like fast food, but albums, I grew up listening to albums. So when I approach my albums or like an album, it's you know, it has to feel like you're stepping into a whole world. So that was the process with this. Did Signs, and then just across that time was building songs that fit into that world sonically and like and with the theme you know I was going with.
No, that's really, really interesting. So starting with the one and then kind of building from there. Yeah.
Like I say, for me, it's like building a house, and like, you know, you have Signs as the foundation, and you just build the house you want on top of it.
Amazing, amazing. That's cool. You were saying about how you kind of grew up listening to albums. So what was your early life when it came to listening to music? Who were your inspirations? Who kind of brought you into the music world? How did you get started?
Yeah, with music, you know, the first music I was exposed to was my dad's music, because he's like a music collector kind of guy. His thing was jazz and soul music, jazz, soul, reggae, all that kind of stuff. So that's the first stuff I'm listening to, like tons of jazz and like some 60s soul, reggae stuff. You know, and from my older brother, just pop music, lots of hip hop music, whatever was cool at the time. And yeah, so that's really my foundation, you know, jazz and hip hop and pop and R&B. But I'm also a music school kid.
Okay.
You know, from like 7, you know, my dad put us in music school. So there's also that side of me where it's like, you know, classical music education. And
wow. So you're really a student of the art.
I've been with music for a while.
Damn, see, this is some great stuff. Yeah, I like that.
So, you know, with I started on piano, classical piano, but because I was listening to jazz at home, that wasn't like as interesting to me, because, you know, I'm playing all that stuff, Mozart or whatever. And that's not what I'm listening to and enjoying
Mm.
at home. So I sort of switched to just producing music that I liked, from really early on.
So from that production element, is there any production on Ultralight that you've done yourself, or do you kind of give it off to other producers to do and you focus on the kind of
Right.
creative writing process and the singing, etc.?
Yeah, for me, all of it is one thing, So I produce like 70% of the album.
Cold.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it's also a really collaborative album in, that even if I produce the song, I have producers in the room that are going to add stuff, musicians in the room who are going to add elements to it to make it full. But yeah, I produce most of my music.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So a man who can do both. This is crazy.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I like that. So let's get into some of even the features and stuff, because you're talking about how it's a collaborative album. Of course, we have some features like Sute Iwar, who am I gonna assume
Is my brother.
your brother?
Yeah.
Perfect, amazing. We've got Lex and Moore.
Lex.
We have Kadiata.
Mhm.
There's some real great names on there. Tell me about some of them features and how they kind of like came about.
Yeah, I love every feature on this album is an artist I really like. Every feature, every producer, and I think the album is really a reflection of what my life's been like for the past year and a half, where I'm just like constantly working with musicians. Because I'm a producer, it's really easy to just produce my song.
Yeah.
It's easy to just stay in that like tunnel and focus on your music, but in the past year and a half, I've been working with a lot of people, and it's reflect. And every feature is really organic. Tay is on there on Meditate. He's the first person I sent that song, because we just send ourselves songs all
Of
the
course.
time, and I got a chance to play that song to Lex in her studio, and it's always a good thing where like Lex was like, yeah, that's the one,
She picked
like
it
she picked
straight.
it. And hey, you can't ask for more.
No.
It's different like asking someone like, hey, can you please get on my song? So that was cool, and that's how like most of the features played out on the album.
Mm.
There are also really cool young artists on the album, that I really love, from Nigerian artists from Abuja.
Mhm.
There's a song Pleasure Principle, produced by Ray. He's a really young producer and our artist that's crazy. So I like the balance on the album,
Mm.
guys who are really established and really talented young artists.
Amazing. That's good, man. Let's get a little bit more into Meditate even. I wanted to kind of like
Yeah.
understand what your thought process was behind the name of the song, the theme of the song, the concept, etc. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. Meditate, man. That's the heart of the album.
Mm.
I made that song around the same time I made Signs and Judah Lion. And it's really, meditation is a big part of my life. It's something I discovered that really, like, honestly changed the way I think. But in music, I'm not really for preachy music where it's like, go do this,
Mm.
So it's always a balance. So I'm really proud of the song because it's just a vibe, and it maybe on the 10th or 15th listen, you're like, okay, hey man, there's something in here that I should think about.
Yeah.
But I love the song because it's about something that I care about, and I think we can speak about more for people to do, meditation, and I'm just happy that I was able to share that song with like the people on the song.
Mm.
Yeah, really really love that song. Really proud of it.
Yeah, I think it makes so much sense as well, just because I know how Lexa Moore is. She's very kind of
Yeah.
chilled. Her style is great
Mhm.
too. So it's one of them ones where it makes sense in terms of that vibe of meditation, just
Yes,
being
sir.
grounded, being whole in yourself. Do you feel that?
Yeah, 100%. Lex is such a real person. And big shout out to her because I'm from Nigeria, and
Mm.
I come here every now and then, and she's one of those artists that really made me feel at home here.
Mm.
Invited me to her studio, just getting to hang out with her, and feel like a part of her community. So yeah, she's a real person, and her music, I think, really falls in line with that song.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay, that's real cool,
perfect
man.
fit.
What would you say is your kind of style of music, by the way? Just to like, what would you kind of put it in?
Hard.
Yeah, I know it's
Hard
kind of hard
question.
to box it, right?
Yeah, because I do a bunch of stuff. Because I rap, I sing, and I'm producing my music, and I have all these influences that I try and fit into my music. But I think it's Afrofusion. That's like, if we're gonna put it in a box, that's what I'm comfortable with, because I'm really, I feel like regardless of what style I'm making, because I'm Nigerian, you're gonna feel my Nigerianness in there a bit,
Yeah.
But I get to play around, so I'm really just fusing all my interests with the African in me.
Amazing, amazing. And my last question for you, yeah, I'm gonna give you a little scenario, okay?
Scenario, okay.
You've just performed at the greatest venue in your opinion, yeah. I think you said what, Pyramids? That
So
you like?
Pyramids of Giza.
Okay, cool. Pyramids of Giza. You've just performed to however many people can hold it, yeah. What are you doing in that moment once you've finished?
I don't know. Maybe cry. I don't know. I don't know. Those feelings are really overwhelming, and that's such a great question, because there's a song on the album I literally wrote based on that kind. There's a song on the album, the one with Kadiata, Star Player, and it really was that perspective. Like, imagine you like achieved everything you wanted to achieve. Like, how would you feel, and what would you tell yourself?
Yeah.
And here I ain't got the answers. I don't.
You ain't got the answers until you get
until
there,
you
which
get
you're
there,
gonna get there.
You never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that's an answer, but
What's that feeling like? I don't know, how many performances you've done already before, but what is that feeling where you give back what you have kind of created in the kind of autonomy of yourself? You're giving it back to the people, and now they're singing it back to you. Like, what does that feel like?
It's crazy, man. And I feel like live is a whole different experience for the listener and for the person on stage, because it's like, it's so direct, like I could record a song and you hear it, and you like it, and it's cool, but you don't get the same energy like if I was in front of you performing that song. So I've been performing longer than I've been recording music, really, just because of my being in school bands and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I love being up there, and like that energy that's in the room, during live shows.
Yeah. What would you prefer?
Yeah.
The intimate setting where you can actually see every single person in the crowd singing back to you,
Yeah.
or that 10,000 plus type stadium?
The truth is, I love both, man.
Yeah.
The sound just has to be good.
Yeah.
We need good sound. So if the sound's good, I'm happy to do both. Yeah.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Who are your inspirations?
Inspirations, for sure. Because I grew up on jazz, like I sort of enjoy artists that have that kind of multifaceted thing in them, where they're like really on the edge, trying out stuff. The musicians I discovered for myself that like really made me feel like I could do music, where guys like D'Angelo, Jay-Z, Kendrick, Childish Gambino, Lauryn Hill, Anderson .Paak, those kind of guys also, who I feel like we do a similar thing, rapping and singing and just really being free in music. In Nigeria, there are some Nigerian artists that are just amazing. Two-Face, if you guys know Two-Face, legendary Nigerian musician, and Nato C, MI, these are guys that, growing up, I was like, yo, that's so cool that they're doing that. And also even like Wiz, Burna, those guys, not influenced directly by them musically, but like growing up seeing like, okay, these guys, like young guys from Nigeria doing this thing and killing it, you can actually do that. Because in Nige, there's still that, it's a little stigma, like, oh, you're gonna do music, okay, cool.
Really?
yeah. It's still there. It's changing now. And those guys really helped that change, to make it feel serious. So yeah, all those inspirations. I'm not gonna plug Fela. Everyone knows Fela.
Well, everyone does,
everyone's
right?
Gonna mention
Yeah,
Fela
of course.
Everyone's a dad in Nigerian music. But those guys, that really are unique, really individual artists that once you hear them, you know who they are.
What space do you feel like you fill when it
Mm.
comes to yourself in the industry, and maybe even more specifically, what space does Ultralight fill in the music industry?
That exact space I'm talking about, that space, of like true expression. In the line of what like an Anderson .Paak or Childish Gambino does, I'm an artist who's ready to like, who's ready to discard the last album I made, just to present something new.
Really, that's really interesting to say.
So, and that's what Ultralight is. I don't think there's any artist in Nigeria who's done the singing, rapping thing like I'm doing it. I'm balancing it so well. It feels like something new, and I want to be in that position to let people know, okay, in music you're allowed to play. We're playing, we're not working really.
Yeah.
So just play.
Yeah.
But also being multifaceted, like producing music and songwriting, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just think like I represent like what modern Nigerian musicians look like now. We're doing all kinds of things. We're very involved with the music. And hopefully they're like kids back in Abuja or Lagos, that see that and run with it. And I see a lot of that happening.
I hear you, man. Yeah. Right now we're looking at the future of Afrofusion.
Hey,
come on, my guy.
Bless.
On, Sute Iwar. That's it, man.